Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
The Doctor of Discernment is now online.
You know, much like my show, in that it's a local reaction to things that are happening on a federal level.
Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Wow, do I have a boatload of stuff for you, from the crazy to the absurd. Let's start getting into it because, I mean, it is bizarro world out there. And I say, if it's obvious to me, should be obvious to everybody. Oh, wow. Who could have seen this coming?
This is the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage.
Hold on to your butts.
Broadcasting from my basement bunker beneath Kettle Radio. Welcome to the Fourth Hour of the Greg Belfrage Show. It's awesome to have you guys along. Interesting discussion already going on in comments. I will circle back to that at the end of the video. Let's catch some of the latest news. Fox has got a feed here with latest live updates. There are a number of them here that are worth sharing with you. The vice president's going to host the Charlie Kirk show today. Here we go. FBI says it's found a DNA match between the crime scene evidence and Charlie Kirk's assassin. So Patel made the statement this morning on Fox and Friends. DNA hits from the towel that was wrapped around the firearm and the DNA on the screwdriver are positively processed for the suspect in custody. I don't think this is any big surprise. Democratic senator calls internet an accelerant driving extremism after Kirk killing. I think that's a bit laughable. Chris Coons is wrong on so many issues. Here's the one that really caught my eye. Greg Abbott. Check out this post Abbott had. This is what happened to the person who was mocking Charlie Kirk's assassination at Texas Tech. F around and find out. So she's in handcuffs. Oh, you can tell I'm all broke up about that. Dan Bongino was talking about the FBI probe this morning on Fox News. He said the motive is fairly obvious. We are clinging to transparency here. You know, the era of Cronkite and Jennings is over. New media is media. We want to be sure we do everything in our power to share what we can while still balancing the needs of the investigation, he said. And he said that it was family members of Robinson's that told investigators he had become more political in recent years. And it's pretty clear based on their statements, as well as statements of friends, and some of the messaging we have on the digital footprints, that it clearly had some obsession with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is obviously a conservative commentator. That's no secret. He said, again, I don't want to speak in advance, jeopardize the case. I think it's fairly obvious to everyone out there. There's no need to parse words with it, that this was clearly an ideologically motivated attack. Marco Rubio's promising to revoke the visas for any foreigners celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And I think, as Governor Greg Abbott put it, F around and find out. That's what's happening to a lot of people this morning. That's what we talked about on the show. F around and find out, like that professor at USD did. And by the way, in just a stunning show of courage, he immediately not only pulled down the post, he deleted his accounts. So he deleted his social media accounts. That's a real example of courage, my friends, to go out there and say something that's just so breathtakingly, I think, ignorant and rude, and then have to shut down your social media accounts. That is just absolutely crazy. Okay, I want to share a few opinion pieces. This is over at townhall.com at Vespa. So the left's narrative. So what was the left? The left's narrative was that Tyler Robinson was really a conservative. He was a Charlie Kirk supporter. Such a diehard that he shot him. That's what they went with for about 24 to 36 hours. I hadn't seen this. So, in a disturbing development following the assassination of Kirk, sources now reveal the alleged shooter was living with a transgender partner at the time of the attack, which is true. Fox News broke that story on Saturday. According to individuals familiar with the investigation, the partner, who is a biological male transitioning to female, has been cooperating fully with federal authorities. I talked about that a lot this morning. So Vespa says, well, isn't that interesting? Yeah, this guy sounds like a real MAGA and Charlie Kirk supporter. The crash out has been epic. And yeah, this just goes on with reaction. So I want to share this one in particular because this is pretty crazy. And a lot of this, now that we are winding up seeing Tyler Robinson, parents say he had turned to radical left-wing ideology. Childhood friends say he was left on pretty much everything, was dating a transgender. No, we know all of this so far to be true. This has all been confirmed by legacy media. Was living with the transgender and involved with a local transgender terrorist network. These are things I think we're going to learn. Had shell casings saying notices bulge, however it's a joke about noticing a trans male to female bulge. Had a shell casing saying catch fascist. I told you that last week. Now this is incredible. Multiple transgender accounts in the area posted the day before saying something is going to happen at the Charlie Kirk event tomorrow. And the governor of Utah saying that he was deeply indoctrinated with left-wing ideology. I think there's a lot more that you and I are going to learn. So were there, trying to see if there were any other statements. Guy Benson at Fox News said significant swaths of the online left have been working feverishly to misinform people on this subject. The shooter is a hardcore leftist, reportedly living with his trans partner. Brooke Singman reporting, who wrote anti-fascist slogans and taunts on his bullets. Yeah, it's just absolutely crazy. Now, speaking of the left, what is the left up to now? We're going to go to PJ Media for this. Leftists now are posting their hit lists of the people that they want to murder next. Now, I'm going to come back to this story here in a moment. I want to share so that you can see these screenshots, because from the story, they're difficult to read. That's as good as it's going to get. You see these? I hope they do Joe Rogan next. Nice. Can we do Ben Shapiro next? There are a lot of people on this thread calling for Ben Shapiro, who is very, he was and remains connected with Daily Wire, had been doing his own radio show for a while, has been doing a podcast throughout pretty consistently. Someone else, best birthday present ever. I'm laughing so hard. That's what you get, bitch. Oh, that was fun. Do Ben Shapiro next. Ben Shapiro next, please. Can someone shoot Ben Shapiro next? J.K. Rowling next. And another one who repeats that. Like, I'm glad that guy died, but they're going really hard on this is a dark day for America, about a guy I'd never heard of till he was shot. Can we get J.K. Rowling next? These people are sick, man. This is sick. It just goes on. J.K. Rowling, Ben Shapiro, Rowling next. Rowling next. Ben Shapiro next. Ben Shapiro next. Okay, do Ben Shapiro next. Honestly, as much as I want to say that, we really got to start rooting for a good Samaritan to hit up Dennis Prager. You know what Dennis Prager is? These people are sick, man. This absolute sickness that's going on. This is on the online community. Just absolutely crazy. So let's return to the piece at PJ Media. So the left is the left is evil. The left is a gang of terrorists. If you have any lingering doubt about that, consider this. First, they were celebrating the murder of Charlie Kirk. Now they're making those celebrations look innocent. They are weighing in with who they want to see next. Joe Rogan. His name has come up. Who is, you know what that shows? When they are targeting Joe Rogan, anybody who's committed to just Joe Rogan, there are things I agree with him on. There are a lot of things I don't agree with Joe Rogan on. I think he's got it wrong on a number of things. But he's compelling. He's compelling. They want to silence him, Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, of course, President Trump, the libs of TikTok, Elon Musk, Andy No, and it just goes on and on. This is absolutely crazy. J.K. Rowling said, if you believe free speech is for you but not your political opponents, you're illiberal. If no contrary evidence could change your beliefs, you're a fundamentalist. If you, I think what she said, if you believe the state should punish those with contrary views, you're a totalitarian. If you believe political opponents should be punished with violence or death, you're a terrorist, she said. And then this piece at PJ Media goes on to say that's exactly what the left is today. Inside every progressive is totalitarian screaming to get out. David Horowitz was great. I had him on the show a few times. Trying to see, what did Matt Walsh say? A lot of concerned people are sending me these screenshots and dozens more. I appreciate their concern, but I'm not surprised. I won't be going into hiding. And this is where I agree with Matt Walsh. We have to be louder and bolder now than ever, or else the demons who killed Charlie win, and they cannot win. It's what it's boiled down to. It's what it's boiled down to. It's just absolutely crazy. You're watching these people who are just, just out of their tree, man. It's just absolutely incredible. And we talked about that on the show this morning. And I want to repeat what I said. I mean, Charlie Kirk's death has me looking at my own faith and my own belief in Jesus Christ a lot harder as a result of his death. And I'm going to be a lot more vocal about it. That's going to be bothersome to some, but I'm going to be a lot more vocal about it. Charlie Kirk was killed because of his belief in Jesus Christ, and his beliefs stemmed from that. So the other beliefs that he had, transgenderism would be an example, not a thing in Christ's day, but Charlie Kirk's views flowed from that belief in Christ. And it's been very much on my mind ever since. So it's pretty crazy. Okay, I wanted to come back and check your comments. I love what Denise said here. Had a window decal made that says, show kindness, give grace, find forgiveness. Absolutely right. We were talking on the show this morning about, employers, and we were talking about it last week. And then I saw the story over the weekend about this USD art teacher who, was saying outrageous things. And it was the governor's comments. The governor shared it on Facebook. And that's what I was brought it to my attention was Governor Roden's comments. He was greatly bothered by it, as I was. And so Steve says, I think employers need to ask themselves if the repercussions of their employee outweigh the benefit of employing him. It was an email that I shared on the air this morning that someone had sent me, and I withheld his name, but it was kind of a powerful thing to say. Steve, I hope they keep this kid alive. He needs to go to court. He can't be allowed to eliminate himself. I agree with that. I want those who are in custody to be safe anyway. And yeah, he should pay their price. Should absolutely pay their price. Okay, David, words have consequences. We have to take responsibility for the effects of what we say, even online. You can yell fire in a crowded theater, but there better be a fire. Yeah, what's going on is just way beyond even that. You know what I mean? Be out there celebrating. First of all, I just can't imagine celebrating somebody else's death. I might not be crying about it. I might not be shedding tears. That's a far cry from celebrating it. That's a far cry from going out there and start, putting out other names of people you hope to see eliminated. Wow, that is just sick stuff. Steve says this event has gotten the normies that don't pay attention to everything to pay attention and wonder what world they live in. I agree with that. Denise, I have a hard time with online comments because people say things that they would never say in person. Denise, I was talking about that this morning. I used to believe that. I used to believe that people would say things online. They would never say it in person. I think those days are over. Things have gotten so crazy now. Folks have gotten so out of their tree. They'll say it right to your face. It's just absolutely incredible. I agree with you, Steve. And he followed up, eliminating people that disagree with you sounds like a Nazi to me. Do they even know what they're saying? But whether they do or don't, I have no idea. I'm just disgusted by it. But again, and I talked about this on the air this morning, I had a conversation with a coworker of mine on Friday, and she was showing me she had her phone up, she's going through stuff on her phone for me. And it was comment after comment after comment after comment. She must have showed me 15 to 20 comments from people who were saying because of Kirk's killing, they're coming to Jesus Christ as a result of that. It's incredibly powerful. And the legacy that Charlie Kirk, did you happen to watch his wife, Erica, then on Friday? Because I thought she was great. She was nervous, obviously, but 2 days after his killing and addressing folks online, and she made it very, very clear the work of Turning Point USA will continue. And she said, we're going to be doubling down on this. We're going to continue to do what we're doing. She talked about the folks at Turning Point USA and how folks are stepping up to continue the work that they're doing. So if they thought they were going to silence Charlie Kirk, as well as his fans, I'm doubling down on a lot of this stuff. I really am. I'm going to be paying a lot more attention to it. I'm going to be a lot more, I hope, My intention is to be much truer to my own faith, but continue to fight for what I believe in. All right, you made it to the end of the video, so you are part of my gallery of champions. Special salute to the Bunker Brigade. Those are the folks who are here every morning. I flashed some of their comments as the video was ongoing. I hope you'll come back tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. I would love to pick up more subscribers, especially on YouTube. So until tomorrow, my friend, I'm underground and gone.